Hey there, friends and foes. Good morning, multiverse. This is Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturday mornings of our youth. And this morning, we are going to be talking about an animated series that is near and dear to my heart. As an Avengers fan, we are going to be talking about Avengers United They Stand, and we are going to do that right after this.
Saturday morning, it's fun for all. Cartoons and cereal, let's have a ball. Comic books, kaiju, pro wrestling too. The fun is waiting for you. Back of the cereal box.
All right, friends and foes, this is Back of the Cereal Box. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pyka. You can call me Johnny. And Avengers comic books, Star Wars movies, and Saturday morning cartoons made me who I am today. And when I was a kid, Saturday mornings meant big bowls of cereal, sitting down to watch cartoons, read comic books, watch Kaiju, Godzilla movies, Kung Fu movies, NWA World Championship Wrestling. And because we didn't have iPhones or tablets at the breakfast table on Saturday mornings, we were reading the back. This is the back of the cereal box. That was literally our newspaper. That was our world. We were engaged and enthralled. And this morning, I've got Fruity Pebble waffles, the last bit of it. Truth be told, someone, the last person to eat it, forgot to seal the bag inside, and it's a little bit stale. I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just saying. And this morning, I just want to show off the back of this cereal box. It's got a little story about Fred and Barney. You fill in the story, you write the story, you draw the pictures of the things in the background or on the TV or in the mirror that they're looking at. Super, super creative. And I love this. I love this. Now, to help us out this morning, we're going to be talking about Avengers United They Stand, the Saturday morning series from the 90s. And you guys watching or listening, you can join us in the rec room by participating in the chat, like Dave Mattingly, who says, "Good morning, Box Tops." You get to be the fourth co-host this morning. How cool is that? And to help us out, she is normally your wife's favorite redhead, but today she's gone Raven Brunette, doing a fantastic Scarlet Witch cosplay. She is a cosplayer extraordinaire, artist, face painter this weekend at the Columbia Shakespeare Festival.
Shakespeare in the Park. We're doing Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Yeah, it's Aubrey Cavett. And wait, we got to give you your fanfare, Aubrey.
Assemble!
Yeah,
No, wrong one.
Who needs the Rodecaster Pro when you've got a kazoo master on the podcast?
Very true. Very true.
Anyway, this morning we've got a very special guest in the virtual rec room with us, all the way from Los Angeles, California, working in post-production on a television show that you've probably heard of. She is the host of the Writers Hangout podcast. Please welcome to Back of the Cereal Box, Sandy Adomaitis.
I am so excited to be here, guys. Can't
We're
wait.
excited to have you.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
that was
And
me.
then she was
That was
gone.
me. I hit a wrong button. The mouse
And
went a
production
little
continues.
haywire. For
I
those
have
of you who
special
are just
powers.
listening, I accidentally booted Sandy from the studio, but she's back. And it is very early where you are, 6
Yes,
a.m.
yes. In sunny, well, not yet. It will be very soon. Sunny, hot Los Angeles, California.
Ooh,
That-
I've never been, but it looks beautiful.
I love it here. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with it. I love Los Angeles, but I don't like the traffic, and there's a lot of it.
Ooh, well, here in
before-
Tennessee.
Yes, a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
like,
so
we're getting there.
LA is the #1 worst city for traffic in North America.
We don't,
Mm.
Aubrey, we don't speak in miles. If someone says, hey, I have to get to Santa Monica, it's about 2:00. 2:00? How long will it take me to get there? We go, hour and a half. We never
Yeah.
say it's 20 miles.
That's how it's getting in Tennessee. We're in Nashville, and we are now ranked the #5 worst city for traffic congestion.
See, I never knew that. Really?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't used to be this way. I'm not going to lie. Years and
Well,
years ago.
I hope to experience
When I
it.
was a teenager, the traffic was not so bad.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome, Sandy. She is going to be contributing to our discussion
you.
about Avengers United They Stand. And I know, Sandy, after I started sending you the homework, you were like,
Yes.
what have I gotten myself into? What is going on? Before we do all of that, we have to thank the people who make this show possible. Our
Thank you.
Cereal Box Super Friends, our Patreon community, Eli Cash, Phoenix Sisters Entertainment, Sharice Collins, Dave Mattingly, Valerie Davidson, Jeremy Bell, Angelina Vaquera Linky, George Soroy, Larry Amiet, Greg and Crystal Jones, Clyde Hall, Chris Vaglio, Dave Manginelli, and Dennis Pozzi. And
Thank you, guys.
Aubrey, Jeremy Bell thinks he's quite the funny guy.
Oh,
I posted on my Facebook page, I am now challenging 3 million Facebook users to send me $1. And he did.
what?
He sent me $1.
Oh,
This show is also brought to you by
oh.
the Tales of the Decoverse series,
That's
Volume 3, Rise of the Impossibilists. Big Daddy Cool, Johnny Della Rocca, faces an impossible choice. Fight his friends and mentors or allow Rasputin to assassinate world leaders at the 5 Power Treaty Conference and alter history in an irreparable way. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and everywhere you buy books. And we also have to acknowledge our great friends at Song Swap Showdown.
Hey everybody, Chris Vaglio here from Song Swap Showdown. We are your weekly musical throwdown podcast. Each and every week, my co-host Amanda Sharp and I each swap 3 songs with each other that we may or may not have heard before, and then we rate those songs at a scale of 1 to 5 records, with 1 being a hard pass of a song and 5 being heavily music to our ears. The songs are chosen by spinning the wheel of themes at the end of every single episode. But today, I am here to let you know that your weekend is not complete unless you started off by watching Back of the Cereal Box with Johnny Beyond and the rest of the crew. Love you, Johnny. Keep up the amazing work and rock it.
Rock it. I love that. I love that, Chris. Guys, check out Song Swap Showdown live streaming on Monday, and that will be awesome. So, Sandy.
Yes.
Welcome to the virtual rec room. The first thing we do on Saturday mornings is pour that big bowl of cereal. And so I have to ask, not just of everyone on air, but everyone who's watching and listening, what's in the bowl? And I've already shared with everyone that I've got the Fruity Pebble waffles, the last of it. Aubrey, I think you have another great product from our friends at Post Cereal. Not a sponsor, but they should be.
They should be, especially after this one, because
Yes.
I'm excited about this.
Are
Part
you
of the
really?
reason I really am.
What do you got?
I'm usually not into cereal. I'm just opening it. Can you see? Okay, so there's the back. And I'm going to say I'm sad. Come on, Post. There's nothing pretty
Okay.
on the back, but naturally and artificially flavored. At least they're honest. It is the frosted chocolate cake limited edition.
So this has been on my list to try. You go ahead and prep that, and let's see what's in Sandy's bowl. Sandy, what do you got in the bowl? What's in the bowl?
Apple Jacks.
Classic.
It's a classic. One of my favorites as a kid. Great looking box. Seriously, great looking box. And on the back is a wonderful story.
Oh,
And
look at that.
they have a mascot now called Apple, and Apple goes on a adventure. And I have to say that this back of the box would have kept me very entertained as a child.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
a lot
was
of
so
these
cool.
a lot of these boxes even today keep me entertained, especially like the one with Fruity Pebble waffles where you're helping write the story and draw the story. I might cut this out.
I mean, that should
keep
be
it.
kind of a whiteboard thing because I would use that again and again as a kid.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
kind of cool, but you know
You know how you do
You
that,
know,
right? You laminate it.
yeah, 10 years old. Well, oh yeah, okay.
If you were like me and you were the geeky kid that was in the library, or like not the teacher's pet, but like the one who needed help a lot sometimes because of ADHD, they laminated stuff sometimes when they were bored. So you just wander in while the kids are playing, and they're like, "Hey, lamination, could you do this for me?" And they're like, "Will you wash the blackboard?" And I'm like, "Yes, for 3 times if you would do this."
That's funny. All right, everyone.
Do you have a portable laminating machine? I think you should have one.
I would, you know what? I would love that.
They
Like, part
have
of me would really love that.
You know what? You don't even have to have a machine anymore. You can buy the sheets
Oh my gosh,
that you just like.
it smells so good.
Does it? All right, everyone. Let's get our let's
so
get our
good.
spoons ready. She's putting it in the bowl. She
Oh my
puts
God.
milk in first. All right, ready? Sandy, here we go. For those of you just listening, yeah, we're munching on cereal. And you guys, wait. Aubrey doesn't look convinced.
What?
Aubrey,
What?
it's
What?
not what you thought, huh?
Post.
Are you okay?
I thought it was chocolate cake.
It's
you know
not.
what it is?
It's Muddy Buddies.
It's to the bottom. It's shredded wheat
Mhm.
covered in chocolate.
That sounds delicious to me.
Okay, well, totally, Johnny. You can adopt this box. Shredded wheat was never really my thing. It's. I'm hungry though.
Hey, we have a Patreon supporter that's joining us in the virtual rec room. We're gonna bring her on for a minute and find out what's in her bowl. Angelina Vaquera Link, how are you?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here this morning. Yesterday, we were out of cereal. And yesterday, my husband was going to the grocery store and I asked him to pick up some cereal. And all I told him was, get something that we've never had before, something you've never seen. And he did. He got this. It's
The ghost. Oh.
I've never even heard of it. It's like a grain cereal with marshmallows, a lot like Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
I like Lucky Charms. And I like this one too. I think it might be like a generic version of Lucky Charms.
Well, no, Ghost is a big energy drink.
Oh,
Ghost
so,
energy
yeah,
drink.
it's a protein cereal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll try it.
It's actually not bad, and I like it a little better than Lucky Charms.
Huh.
The grain, you know how in Lucky Charms, the grain part of the cereal is kind of like this X shape? In this one, it's like a round shape, like Kix. And it's got a lighter texture, and the marshmallows are like twice the size of Lucky Charms marshmallows. And I like that. So
I hate cereal marshmallows. So I don't know that is a selling point for me.
Wait a second. I know somebody that I once bought one of those giant bags of cereal marshmallows for because they sell them separately.
Yep, they do. Sandy, what about Apple Jacks? Is it as good as you remember from your childhood?
Well, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Jason Gra because he does the voice of the leprechaun in Lucky Charms. He is the second voice, not the original voice, of course. Apple Jacks. This is my childhood. I can absolutely taste it. I have to admit I can't remember what the shape was as a child, but it wasn't these Cheerio shaped. And
They were more square when we were kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm remembering.
They were still rings, but they were square wings.
There you go. And I like it. The green is freaking me out as an adult. I have to admit, a little.
Does it turn the milk green?
No, nope. So far, it's my almond milk is still almond.
All right. So that's funny. I'm using almond milk as well, and I believe Aubrey, you use almond milk as well. Yes. Oh, you're muted, Aubrey.
Sorry. This morning I'm using rice milk, actually.
Oh, never had rice milk.
Rice stream milk, soy milk, and almond milk I alternate because of just health reasons, weight loss and things like that. I love whole milk. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I love having whole milk with cereal, but I can't eat a lot of whole milk anymore. Drink it, eat it.
Sandy, that is part of our navigating adulthood today.
It really is.
You know, celebrating the fun of the Saturdays of our youth while navigating adulthood today.
Yes.
And go ahead.
I would say rice milk is just a little bit thinner.
Mm-hmm. It's more like a 1% or sweet acidophilus is the comparison. So if you're going to go with the thicker one, go with the almond or the soy milk. But the thinner one would be more like a 1% or a sweet acidophilus, definitely.
I don't know if you guys had this brand in your area, but when I was a kid, Lawson's Dairy was the big dog in Ohio, northeastern Ohio. And they had this commercial with a woman bathing in a bathtub full of the sweet acidophilus. How do you say it? Sweet
acidophilus.
Acidophilus milk. And she would say at the end of the commercial, "You can bet your sweet acidophilus it's delicious." And I was like, I want that milk. I want that.
Oh,
it worked on prepubescent Johnny.
I think we got a little piece of the puzzle there, Johnny.
Really?
You can bet your sweet acidophilus it is.
Yeah, that's awful. Okay,
Angelina,
I snorted on camera.
I'm so glad that you were joining us. Do you have anything else you want to share? You can hang out if you want, but
Woo-hoo.
we'll have other people who want to join us later on, probably. But
This week I brought new loot to share.
did you really? Okay, so let's switch up the script. Okay, normally we save it till the end, but since you're a Patreon guest, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to bring you center stage and show us your prizes from the cereal box, because when we were kids, we were sitting down with the big bowl of cereal and then reaching into the box to pull out the prizes. And we also call this new loot. So Angelina, take it away. What do you got?
All right. This is a Betty Boop Funko Pop. And my daughter-in-law gave this to me. And it's kind of a funny story in our family. When I married my husband years ago, he always told me that I look like Betty Boop. And
I can see that.
Sometimes I cut my hair a lot shorter and I look like her even more. And, a few times in the past, I did cosplay as Betty Boop. I'd cut my hair short and do cosplay. And so it's just kind of a funny gift. And I think it's really neat. I like Funko Pops anyway. I didn't know there was the Betty Boop one. But I think
Funko Pop has every character.
Yeah.
So hold that up one more time. So for those of you who are watching or listening, you may have missed our episode about Popeye and his connection to Betty Boop, first appearing in a Betty Boop cartoon. And I love this. Love this. So that is fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Angelina. I'm going to let you go. And Aubrey has disappeared. Aubrey is all discombobulated this morning. But Angelina, thank you so so much for joining us this morning, and we'll catch you on the back of the cereal box. All right, Aubrey, what is in your box? Your mic is muted.
I had to scramble because I realized I forgot.
You're not on your game this morning.
This morning that I'm all out of sorts in a tizzy. We have a lovely guest from California, and I'm doing some Shakespeare in the Park. But I do have, because I was hoping I could find my Avengers, but I really couldn't find it like I wanted to. So instead,
Legion of Superheroes. I love that. This is
you
a
hear
classic.
that snap? Because I've never opened this one. So here we go. All right. Oh, and
what number is it? On the cover.
All right. Yes. It's number 272. This was 50 cents. Oh my God. It was 50 cents. Every time I see the price, I'm like, this is never going to be the same again. But my favorite thing to do.
Yeah,
my favorite thing to do is look up the ads. Come on, guys. Look at amazing.
So, Sandy, for reference, I don't know if you're into comics at all, but comic books made me, I'm obsessed with comic books. And Aubrey collects them. She doesn't really read them, but she likes to collect them, and she likes to look through them. And we don't have, oh man, that was one of my favorite ads as a kid. I always wanted that Lego set, never got it. But
you hear that, guys?
yeah. But they don't have ads like that in comic books anymore. And as a result, they're no longer 50 cents. They're now $4.99 because they're not paid for with advertising dollars.
And I do read them. I just read them after. I like a little private reading. You know what it is? I make all kinds of faces and noises and reactions. I don't know that anyone would enjoy me reading a comic. It just sounds like Mystery Science Theater with comic involved.
Well, no, I think that could be a podcast episode. Ooh, you know what? Road Rockets. Do I remember? Yes. I remember these.
Look at the 2-page ad for this. Come on, guys. This is why
I never had
love
those. I don't know that I had any friends that did, but I remember this ad. That's amazing. That's amazing. Sandy, do you have anything in your cereal box? Any prizes from your cereal box this morning? What is this? Oh my goodness. This is, I've seen this at, the Lucky Cat.
I just love my Lucky Cat. And
Really?
He's tiny and he's always waves. And whenever I'm working, he's there.
What? So what's the story behind Lucky Cat? Where does that come from? I've seen it in like TV shows and movies, and I think I've seen it even like at a Chinese restaurant.
Right.
The story behind Lucky Cat?
Asian, and it's just kind of a good luck charm. And I'm not sure why the cat is always waving, but it soothes me somehow sometimes.
I
can
love
just
that.
Look at the little kitty. But I got this at Huntington Gardens, of all places, in east of here in Los Angeles.
All right. I love that. I love that. So I've got some loot that is going to tie directly into this morning's theme. And we're going to get to that right after audience comments. So real quick, Angelina posted something in our chat. She said, now that I've had several bites, I've changed my mind about the Ghost cereal. Now my teeth have a greasy film. Weird. I'm just going to go finish the marshmallows and drink the milk. See, that's why I gave you that face. I've had enough of those protein cereals to know.
Ooh, maybe that's my problem. I've only tried one protein cereal.
Yeah, they're not good. Anyway, so from my cereal box, totally in theme with this morning and with our show. This is brand new, Aubrey. This just came off the store shelves this Wednesday. This is Ultraman and the Avengers. And, we're going to be talking about Avengers United They Stand, but this is everything I love about Saturday mornings. It's the Avengers, it's Ultraman, it's Kaiju battling against the Avengers and Ultraman.
What?
And it is the perfect representation of Saturday morning for me. Ultraman, Avengers, Kaiju, everything this show is about. This is
It
on
really
stands
is
right now.
everything this show is about.
Yeah, I love that. And in honor of Avengers United We Stand, I wanted to show off this print from artist Bob Hall. This is the West Coast Avengers,
Ooh.
which is the basis for Avengers United We Stand. And Bob Hall was the co-creator of the West Coast Avengers, and so I wanted to.
Now that tigress, I could handle. I could do that one.
That tiger, you want to do a cosplay of that tiger?
Well, I mean, her hair is really long. The other one in this one, her hair is so cropped and short. I can't do short, dude.
That's funny. We'll talk more about that. So before we get to our main topic, we got a ton of comments, and this is Aubrey's favorite part, Sandy, where the audience gets to become the fourth co-host and comment in our chat. Dave Mattingly says, "Cereal boxers, assemble!" And Zentron is joining us from the UK. He says, "Good afternoon, fellow cereal boxers." He is coming at us live, sitting at his computer desk, working on his 4K redraw of the first Laser Tag Academy episode.
Good morning, Zentron.
Do you know I have never seen the Laser Tag Academy? Never.
What?
I have no idea what that is.
Wait, no, I don't know what we're talking about either.
But Zentron says I have the complete series on DVD.
Which one?
Laser Tag Academy. I don't know what it is. I've never seen it. But it's apparently an animated series, and he's doing a redraw of the first episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good morning, Zentron.
Aubrey's acting like she doesn't know what that is. Anyway,
I don't know what that show is either. So no,
Yeah,
never heard of
neither
it
do I.
at all. And honestly, I didn't hear of this one either. I'm not gonna lie.
That's all right. That's all right. That's why we're doing Saturday morning 102 instead of 101. Ben Schroer says, "Awesome PJs, Johnny." Yes, this is my Avengers onesie. It is a prized possession. I
really
love
is.
this. I love this. This is the one, Sandy, that I wear to live events. When we go to
cool.
conventions and whatnot, this is what you'll see me in.
That's great.
Yeah. It's
I know I
great.
don't look like I'm in pajamas, but this is a pajama top. There's a oh wait, where is it? There's a cat. Oh, can you see the cat?
Oh, just barely. Hold on, let me zoom in.
Yeah,
on
it's
that.
very light.
That's
It's
cute.
from the television show Call Me Cat. This was the crew gift.
Okay,
And a friend of mine worked on it. So I got one of the crew gifts. So
I love that.
I
love
am
that.
in pajamas.
Way to embrace the theme, Aubrey. Anyway, Zentron says, "Avengers United They Stand." That is. Oh, he said I have the complete series on DVD.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. That's great. It's actually $15 to get the whole thing through on the PS4 or PS5. So,
Or if you have Disney Plus, free. Or on Daily Motion, free.
yeah.
I watched it on Daily Motion.
Daily Motion was hard. It kept skipping episodes. I wanted them in a row, and I wasn't getting. They were skipping through. We had the first one, then the 10th one, and the third one.
Physically make sure that you were watching them if you wanted to watch them in order. And this series actually benefits from watching them in order. Caterade Comedy says, "Dude, love the kazoo." You're welcome, Caterade. Clyde Hall is joining us. Good morning, boxers. Clyde Hall really came through again this week with one of his posts on Facebook, provided me with images that I had not seen for this property. So some of the pictures that we have this morning are courtesy of Clyde Hall. Song Swap Showdown says, "Rocket." That's Chris Vaglio. He says, "Love Back of the Cereal Box crew. Best way to start the weekend." And he agrees with you, Sandy. Apple Jacks. And he said giant size too. Have you seen the giant size Apple Jacks, or is that? Oh, you have the giant size box.
It's a giant size box,
because they
which
make
means
ones
it's
that are
bigger
really
than family
big.
size.
Oh yeah, it's bigger than family, and that I've got the same thing. This is the family size, but look at the thickness on this. This is like, same thing. This is like a big cinder block brick.
$9.99.
I mean,
$5.99.
our
at Walmart.
parents taught us to get value for our money, right? And we do that. And we get extra large boxes of cereal.
So, Song Swap Showdown says Aubrey's face when you were eating the chocolate frosted cake.
I'm never gonna lie to you guys. I can't. My heart is right here. You can't. You always see what I mean here.
She completely ruined our chances of being sponsored by Post, but that's okay.
No, those doesn't.
They made good TV.
Honest opinions. If you like, wait, hold on. I'm hungry. Yes, and you know what?
It says I'm hungry though. Yes.
Filling it was. Chocolate it was. Soggy it is now.
You just don't like shredded wheat.
That is true. That is what it is, guys. Just to be honest with you, I never like shredded wheat.
All right, so General Mills has a Chex cereal, Muddy Buddies cereal. So it's Chex with the Muddy Buddies stuff.
Yes, I have it. I want to try it. That's
next week. That's next week. We got to give the audience a tease.
Okay.
So she's going to try Muddy Buddies next week. Caterade, Kate Hawkins says, Aubrey had a suit-up transformation. We need music for her next transformation sequence.
Oh, right? Like the sound of the Avengers or whatever.
No. Well, last, our Popeye episode, was it Popeye? That you did the quick change, although it was not. It was more of a burlesque strip and peel. And
no.
Sandy and I gave her the music.
That was no. I was fully dressed. It was just a joke because of the era. That was the era when they started burlesque shows. So they did just gloves and like ankles and knees, and then it was spicier, of course, than that. But I was going very mild.
No, I think Aubrey is a burlesque performer wannabe. I think secretly deep inside, she wants to let it all out to the world.
You could be Aubrey Von Teese.
Aubrey Von
You know what?
Teese.
I love Elvira, but I could never pull it off. Nope.
Oh yeah, you could. Our audience has seen how you could pull that off. That's why they keep tuning in. They're hoping to see that Elvira moment from you.
No, you know what, guys? I specifically bought this corset, and it is not the color that it looks on camera right now. This is a sheer piece of material covering a patent leather bright red corset because I didn't watch the cartoon. I don't lie to you guys. I did not have time to watch the cartoon. I was visiting family and taking care of being a grandma. Ooh. Wait a second. Johnny put something up there and I have ADHD, so I had to read it.
David Walsh, who is Zentron, now he's over on Facebook, which we love when you guys watch on Facebook and give us thumbs up and hearts and emojis. That helps us out a little bit with a spiff from the Facebook creator bonus program. He says, my loot this week. Yep, another She-Ra animation cell to add to my collection. Ooh. Zentron is a little bit obsessed with She-Ra.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I understand, though. I did love She-Ra as a kid, and that never went away.
So Clyde Hall says Dial H for Hero was an ad for in the Legion of Superheroes comic. Mm-hmm. And Clyde, I posted about Dial H for Heroes this week on our Facebook page. There was a proposed animated series in 1981 that never happened, and I'm so disappointed by that.
Clyde, I saw that too. I was very, very excited for that, and I was. Yes, but since you mentioned it, I'm allowed to show it now.
There it is. Dial H for Hero. Love it.
Isn't it awesome?
That was one of my favorite favorite comics when I was a kid. Absolutely. And Caterade says Avengers, Kaiju, Ultraman. Oh my.
Oh my gosh, that was great, Cade. That's a coin one. You need to coin that one for like
Avengers, Kaiju, Ultraman. Oh my. I can't even do the cadence, but yeah, love it. Love it. Oh, wait, Aubrey, look at this. Look at this. I remembered thinking this when I saw it, when I was reading this, but you tell me, because we covered this months ago, like in your first couple of weeks with us, but you tell us what this looks like to you.
Wait, what? That looks like the turtle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, why is my brain not working? Gamera, my favorite. Why? So they're teasing Gamera there?
Is
that what that is?
It can't be Gamera, but it's definitely a Gamera.
So it's a shout out.
Gamera analog. So
he's my favorite kaiju. He is. Johnny, it's okay. We don't have to agree. In fact, I think it's great that we don't agree on everything because
I love a Gamera. I love Gamera. Gamera is one of my all-time favorites.
He's my favorite. I think he's better than Godzilla.
I don't know.
Look at the face. Look at the face. My opinion. It's my
Godzilla.
It's mine. My opinion. That's it. What about you, Sandy? Do you have a favorite kaiju? Because I didn't till this show. I'm not gonna lie. I had King Kong. I was like, oh no, but Gamera is like my favorite now.
Gamera. I'm with you.
No, really?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sandy.
We need to dress like the ladies that
women say that.
So Sandy, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So you're in Hollywood, you work on film and TV.
Correct.
And last year Godzilla -1 came out with about an $8 million US budget, 10 million in Japanese yen, and broke all box office expectations. It was the most profitable movie of 2023. What was the talk, the discussion, like in production houses? Because we have these 200 million budget movies that are failing, and here comes this $8 million movie that is blowing the gates off of everything and wins an Academy Award. And
I think the talk of the town actually was that, try as you might, going back to basics, and Godzilla is a solid story that is beloved. And, you're going to make it again. You're going to make money if you do a good job with the story. The fans are going to be there. So it was like, go back to basics. And I would also say that the budget, there's always talk about budgets, them being so crazy. But I don't know. I think maybe some people thought that Godzilla was a little stale. Not true.
Yeah, that not only was it, in my opinion, the finest Godzilla movie ever made, it was the best movie of 2023, in my opinion. And there were a lot of good movies in 2023.
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Barbie, Oppenheimer, all of them great. But for my personal taste.
What did it win the Oscar for? Was it
best visual effects?
Visual effects. Oh, wow. Okay, that's the one.
And their visual effects were all practical.
Maybe that's, now that you say that, maybe that's what I was hearing, because that is so unusual.
Yeah.
But, it's tough in this town right now. It really is. The strike hurt a lot of people, and there's not a lot of production. We're all hoping that maybe by 2025, it's all going to kick back in. It's going to get back to normal. But it's tough out here in the movie and TV business. Not
Yeah.
a lot filming,
Wow.
but it's going to come back. It's going to come back.
Yep. Yep. Well, speaking of comebacks, it is time for our main topic. Everybody is waiting for Saturday morning 102. And in this series, we are talking about Saturday morning shows that are essential, but maybe you don't remember. Maybe they're a little bit more obscure. And in this case, there's a reason why you don't remember it. It was only 13 episodes. And I am talking about Avengers, United They Stand. And Aubrey, I know you've got to be shocked that we've not talked about Avengers before now. We're in season 4. We're almost at 4 years of doing the show, and we've not had any discussion about Avengers animated series
curious.
on the show.
I had never asked, but I was curious. I figured we'd get to it eventually. I did not know this would be our first show of it, though.
Yeah, well, so because this was the first Avengers animated series, and all of you can see behind me, my whole office is, this whole side is Avengers theme. The other side in front of me is Star Wars theme. But I've got the posters, I've got all of the figures. This whole bookcase over to my left is an Avengers bookcase. I've got figures arranged in different team formations, and the figures right along the top here are characters from this show, the West Coast Avengers. And so this show is near and dear to my heart. And let's do the tale of the tape. Avengers United They Stand, also simply known as The Avengers, is an animated series based on the Marvel Comics superhero team, The Avengers. It consists of 13 episodes. Originally premiered on October 30th, 1999, and was produced by Avi Arad. It was canceled on February 26th, 2000. And the series features 2 founders of the team, Ant-Man and the Wasp. They were founding members of the Avengers, and introduces Wonder Man, Tigra, Hawkeye, Falcon, Vision, and Scarlet Witch. And the series features a team broadly based on the roster for the 1984 Avengers spin-off series, The West Coast Avengers. And one of the things that I liked about this series is that they took a lot of design liberties. This is Ultron. He's maxed out. They leaned into a lot of things from the comic series, but took it in a different direction. I actually love Scarlet Witch's costume in this, the lavender purple and the red. This is actually one of my favorite outfits of her. You mentioned Tigra, Aubrey. This is the animated version of Tigra, much more feral looking, with more fur. Her hair is shorter in a bob, but she's
pretty
really
much in a bathing suit.
What's that?
She's pretty much in a bathing suit still.
Yeah. Now in comics, she's wearing a unitard, but yeah, I mean, she was. Listen, when I was 15 years old and Tigra showed up in the Avengers, I'm not gonna using Aubrey's terminology. I'm not gonna lie, folks. It was I liked it a lot. Let's just put it that way. And the Vision is much more mechanical, much more robotic. He's got the shoulder pads, and this is one of the things that people didn't like about this show. Like Hawkeye.
What?
Hawkeye
They didn't like Hawkeye?
No, because he was all armored up. In the comics, he didn't wear armor. He didn't have the bio armor. He had the trick arrows and whatnot, but and in this show, they had Hawkeye kind of be the Wolverine equivalent. As a matter of fact, I want to say that the voice actor is the same guy who did Wolverine. Hawkeye is supposed to be... What's that?
I'm going to check.
Hawkeye is supposed to be kind of this rebel bad boy, but he's not this like gruff, hey man, I'll take care of the bed. You know, that's
Nope.
how they wrote him.
This was my guess, and I wanted to make sure I was right. No, that is the voice of one of my favorite characters of all time that's male, which is Gambit.
Oh, so it's the same actor who did
It's
Gambit.
the same actor. I wrote down in my notes, he's got sassy like Gambit. It's the same guy, and I love that.
Now, one of the cool things about this is they really leaned into the Scarlet Witch's Romanian background, and they gave her that thick Romanian accent,
Yes,
which I
they
love.
did, darling.
Because this is the first time we have ever heard her audibly. We've seen her in the comics, but we've never heard her before this. And this show had a lot of couples. So Scarlet Witch and Wonder Man are a couple in the
They were
comic.
so cute together. He looks enormous.
Yes. This series accomplished something no one in comics has ever been able to accomplish. They made Wonder Man cool. Wonder Man was cool in this.
He was like Superman, like the like Thing and Beast all had a cousin. That's what he reminded me of in this story. Like,
Yeah.
Intelligent at the oddest times, and then mostly brute strength, and she adored him. She adored him.
Well, and this is part of a storyline that ran in the Avengers comics, where originally Scarlet Witch and Vision were a couple, but Simon Williams, always pined for Wanda. And when the Vision was killed in the West Coast Avengers, dismantled, Wanda and Simon's romance flourished and remained a thing for a long time. So this series in 1999 was picking up on that and running with it. And it works really, really well. Another couple was Tigra and the Falcon.
They were so cute together.
This was a great pairing. And I never would have thought to put them together before this show. But again, one of the things that people didn't like about this was they armored up the Falcon. They felt this need to give these characters additional gear, tech, and really power them up, and they didn't
Scarlet
need
Witch,
that.
the same. They put armor on Scarlet Witch, and I have to.
Yeah,
she
there's
is in
the armor
background.
on Scarlet Witch.
And
Yeah.
I have to say, I was not a fan of. I didn't mind Hawkeye. I didn't mind Falcon, but to see Scarlet Witch like that, I don't know why, but maybe it was because it was like silver metal, and they needed to. They didn't make it look like it was cohesive and on purpose with hers. The other two looked like it was part of the costume.
Yes, Sandy.
I did some research on this.
Yes.
And actually, I guess in the show Bible before this series happened, they were the ones that aren't the mutants. They were in a really bad fight and they got hurt. And the armor was to help with the pain. Now, that's confusing because they're not wearing the armor all the time. But it helps with their pain. And also, coming from a development background, you'll notice that it's filler. You see the same exact footage every single time. That way they can just fill out the episode. Also, I'm assuming it's got that anime, and wasn't anime really popular in the 90s?
It was skyrocketing.
Yeah.
So it gave it a kind of anime flavor.
Okay.
Filler, flavor, some
relevance,
mythology that was never explained in the series.
Yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that, because nowhere in the series do they mention any conflict with mutants or wearing armor to manage pain.
Yeah, mutants don't need the armor for some reason.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, but Scarlet Witch is a mutant.
Yes, she is.
That's
yeah. They play a fast and loose with their rules. I know.
Yes, they definitely.
There we go. That I agree with, definitely. That was something I noticed.
Now, here's one of the things that a lot of people, look, I like this series a lot because I'm an Avengers shill, and I liked that they got away from the big three. Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor only made, well, Thor never appeared, but Iron Man and Captain America only made cameo appearances, and I actually like that a lot. They used classic Avengers villains like Egghead and the Masters of Evil. In the yellow and green in the foreground is Moonstone. We've got to the left Whirlwind, Baron Zemo, Boomerang, and I forget the dragon, Red Dragon, Dragon Snap, something like that. And I can't remember the bald guy's name. But, you know, fans who love the Avengers lore had a lot to love about this. But what they didn't like was those the reliance on gadgets and armor and the departures from some of that. Here's a deep cut. Longtime Avengers fans loved that Agent Sikorsky of the United Nations was their liaison. If you read the comics, you know the name Sikorsky, and that was like, oh.
But what was he like here? You know,
he was always upset with the Avengers.
Yes.
They could do nothing. I mean, they did mess up. You got to give them. I mean,
how many times did he try to fire them? Was this the only time? Because he was like vicious,
yelling.
Okay.
Well, and
he
this
tried to fire them.
This is a thing that comes from the comic series. In the comic series, Sikorsky was a little bit more of a fan. Like if you watch the MCU movies, Phil Coulson was like an Avengers fanboy, or a Captain America fanboy. That's kind of how Sikorsky was in the comics. In the series, they cast him in the role that Henry Gyrich had. Henry Gyrich, you remember from X-Men 97, we talked about him. In the Avengers comics, Henry Gyrich was the first government liaison for the Avengers in the U.S. government, and he was this character. He hated the Avengers. He was trying to shut them down at every move, at every turn, and it just
very Jameson in his attitude.
Yes,
I feel like very, very, very Jameson in his attitude, and I was just kind of like, I thought they were working together, but the way he talked to him, it was like, that is it. You guys, I want you out of here. Like, I'm done with you. You don't get Falcon. You might as well retire today.
Well, and that is directly from Avengers issue 200. Henry Gyrich. The Avengers has grown to almost 20 members, and Gyrich comes in. He says, nope, the government won't allow that. You can only have 7 members. Oh, and by the way, you have to go recruit the Falcon. You have to go get him, bring him back. He has to be one of the 7. And it was all part of a civil rights storyline, because that was in the early 70s.
Was the Falcon local, as they say?
Yes.
I thought that was adorable.
I know.
That guy's local.
I'm glad that you commented on that, because it was like local yokel was the way they were using that. Like, like the guy was here in Tennessee, that was our superhero for it's just him.
Yeah, right.
That's the way they downplayed it. Like, this is just some stupid local vigilante with tights. We don't worry about.
Well,
wow, like he rescued the president. And can I just say, this is one of the things I'm glad you brought this up, because not only did they pass him off as local, but he did their job. Like he did their job that episode. And if this is the first episode, if you guys haven't watched it, I didn't either when I first started watching it. And oh my gosh, the president's daughter, the president, both of them are going to die in the very first episode. And then they go, oh, guess what? Cliffhanger. Bye. See you next week. As a kid, I would have been like, oh my God,
to fire every single, what do they call it? The people who guard the president. What's not a hard word?
Secret Service.
Secret Service. Those Secret Service guys, got to fire them all.
Right? They are like Star Troopers. They're
just
like
like,
Star Wars troopers.
we're
It's
gonna
like
open
they
up
can
the
shoot
doors.
anything.
And give you the
Nothing
present
hits.
to shoot at.
So Sandy, I have a question for you. So,
Sure.
this series was developed to follow up on the success of X-Men and Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four animated series, the Iron Man animated series, and it took a different stylistic design to be more in line with like shows that were coming out then, like Lunatics and Batman Beyond. There was this real focus on being more gritty, a little bit darker, and that's what this was going for. The big mistake I think that they had was that they excluded what they call the big three: Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. But here's my question for you. I'm looking at the voice talent list, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't recognize a lot of voice talents, a lot of voice actors. But I'm wondering, because you're in the industry out there, do you know any of these folks personally? Linda Ballantyne, Tony Daniels, Graham Harley, Hamish McEwen, Ray Landry, Carol Larson, Stavrola. She must have been Scarlet Witch. Martin Roach, Ron Rubin sounds familiar to me. John Stalker, Rod Wilson, Lenore Zahn. Have you worked with any of them?
No, I have not worked. I've written in animation. I wrote on the Recess, the animated show, ABC. I wrote on that. That's my only association with animation. I've hung out with the Simpsons voiceover people because my friend writes on the show, but I don't recognize those names. But I've always thought in another lifetime, I wish I was a voiceover artist. I just think they have the best life. They just could be casual.
Today they work from their home studios.
Yes, and they get to play. And I think being a voiceover artist would be so cool.
So, Aubrey, I know you get obsessed with the voices. Linda Ballantyne, who played Janet Van Dyne, she was the voice of Serena Tsukino, Sailor Moon,
I know,
in the
I was
second
gonna
half
talk
of
about
the
that.
original English version of Sailor Moon.
There's 3 actors that worked on Sailor Moon in this.
Yeah, Tony Daniels, Uncle Flippy and JoJo Circus, as well as Jedi and Wise Man in the original English dub of Sailor Moon. Yep. And he was the voice of Gambit in X-Men.
Oh, I knew. I love that voice. I'm sorry. There's some voices, doesn't matter the gender. You start talking and I'm like, oh my goodness. Who is this?
Aubrey, what did you think of Ant-Man's voice?
Why did that sound familiar?
It sounded a little young to me.
It did. It sounded
almost like a teenager to me. That
almost
voice.
Yeah. Like
I mean, it sounded very classic cartoon voice.
Yeah,
just a little young. What did you think, Johnny? Do you think his voice was a little young? It wasn't. It didn't bug me, but
that was Rod Wilson, and Rod Wilson. I don't see any other credits for him. His voice didn't bother me. It didn't seem young to me. It did seem insecure, which played into the character.
Because you're right. Yes,
because
it sounded Boy Next Door. It definitely sounded Boy Next Door.
Definitely Boy Next Door. I agree.
Well, and for fans like me who absolutely think that Hank Pym is the center point of the entire Marvel universe, I think he is the most powerful character in the Marvel universe for various reasons, and I did a whole episode about that a couple of years ago. But he has basically handed the mantle of leadership by default, because he and Janet were two of the 5 founders of the team, and it's not until this episode when Captain America appears that Captain America really hands the mantle of leadership to him and gives Hank his full endorsement. Episode 6. And, finally, Hank, I guess, accepts his role as leader with Cap's endorsement. But up to then, he was very insecure.
He was, and I like that he consulted other team members and questioned himself. I actually liked that because there was a power vacuum always when you have a big leader, a big name in any kind of organization. So it was very real to me that he was questioning himself and that he was, seeking guidance from the other team. But also the team was automatic. They were like, they dropped everything. He was like, assemble. But, it didn't matter.
Well,
he was dying. Yeah, he was dying.
Staying true to the nature of the Avengers. That's how they are. They
That
are
was-
a family.
That was one of the things that I did like, because even though he questioned his ability to lead, they respected and knew enough and trusted him enough. And it kind of suggests, in the beginning of it, like they've already been a team. So, when they talk to guys like, well, we've already been doing this. We go everywhere.
Yeah,
So it gives you that feeling like they already know him. They already trust him. He's a good leader, but he's questioning his, he's having an identity crisis like we do. Like, do I need to be here? Am I allowed to be here? Is this really my role? But even when he's dying, they're like, drop everything and do what we tell you. And
Aubrey, you're going to love this about Hank Pym. Okay. So he is one of my all-time favorite comic book characters.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my top 5 Avengers. Hank, and to your point, yes, this team already existed for a long time. This is dropping us in the middle of a new era of the team now that Cap and Iron Man and Thor has left, but Ant-Man and the Wasp were 2 of the 5 founders with those guys. They are the founding members, and now they're going into a time where they're taking over. But the Avengers have been established for years. But here's what you need to know about Hank Pym. In the comics, Hank Pym struggles with DID. He has multiple personalities.
Wait,
and
what?
Yes, he's Ant-Man, he's Giant Man, he's Yellow Jacket. At one point, he becomes the second Wasp. Always, and he creates Ultron, and Ultron is based on his brain patterns. And all throughout comics, he struggles with that self-identity and who he is and how he fits into the Earth's mightiest heroes. He is one of the most, he is called by one of the celestial elders of the universe, the Scientist Supreme, because he's not as smart as Reed Richards, but he transforms science from being scientific to being magic.
I mean, do we know he's not as smart as Reed Richards? Because what he's done.
Well, there's debate about it. And
I feel like he can give him a good run for his money with what
he's one of the he's one of the top 3. Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Hank Pym, Black Panther.
Now you keep calling him Hank, but in this they refer to him as Dr. Henry.
Well, his name is Dr. Henry Pym, but his nickname is Hank. That's what you call people who are named Henry.
Did they call him Hank in this one though?
The Wasp calls him Henry whenever there's like action or commotion.
Yeah, I don't think
Henry.
Yeah, I don't think very many people, if anybody, I don't remember hearing anybody call him Hank in this cartoon.
You're probably right, and it's just a default for me because I'm so invested in the character. That wouldn't even registered with me because his name is Henry Pym. So, and Janet Van Dyne, his wife, would call him by his given name affectionately. Hank is his friend's nickname. He's always Henry to her. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't notice that, but now I'll go back and check that out. So one of the big things about this series, 13 episodes, and it ends on a cliffhanger. What happens to Wonder Man? We'll never know.
Well, I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for them to pick this up and continue with it.
Well, that'll never happen. But
No?
no. Because this was not well received, Aubrey. This series did not succeed.
I don't know why though. Can you really explain to me? Because I really just watching it without hearing any of the drama, about the money and the workers and any of the.
Well, that's not. It just did not resonate with Avengers fans because even though the characterizations were right, even though the spirit of the source material was right, because they chose to set it in the future and upgrade all of the Avengers' powers with tech that never existed in the comics, because Hawkeye never needed this armor. He never needed the tech. He is the most skilled marksman on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
He's supernaturally skilled. He never needed enhancements. They did not need to alter the visual design of the Vision to make him more robotic. The whole thing about the Vision was that he looked like a regular human being, like the MCU version.
Yeah, that part I wasn't really a fan of either.
A lot of fans did not like the alteration of the Scarlet Witch's costume. This is my favorite costume of hers, but a lot of fans were not happy with this. And the same thing with Tigra being more feral, more animalistic than she was a sex symbol, bothered a lot of fans. And here's what's really astounding. This show was definitely made to sell toys. And look at these action figures.
Those action figures were amazing.
They were awesome. Listen, this is one of the best action figure lines of all time.
Okay.
The quality was amazing. The sculpts were amazing. The accessories, everything about this line was great. And I had Tigra and I had Hawkeye. Those were the only two I had of this line. And one of the cool things is all of the figures had magnets either in their hands or their feet. And so they could do things and interact with the equipment. So like Tigra, you see down at the bottom, it shows this like floating training ball thing. When you move your hand close to it, the magnet repelled it. So it would like move with her motions. It was so cool. And then, of course, we have the Vision and Kang the Conqueror. So this is a close-up of Kang. Complete redesign for Kang. Actually,
that
really
is not
cool.
Him, but I do like the shoulders. That face, though.
Well, it is the right face, but without the helmet.
Yeah,
I like this design.
Come with the helmet?
No.
Oh.
They eliminated the helmet for this series.
See, as a kid, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Is fans of the Avengers, hardcore fans, rejected this because, like the costume on the Wasp never had to have the full head helmet and all of the armor and the weaponry. She had her own powers, and although this Captain America figure is one of the best ever made, it was.
Why does he make me feel like he looks like the Tick, though?
Well, the Tick was probably modeled after him. I had this. I had the air glider. I loved this toy. Loved it. And you got to keep in mind, 1999. I'm already an adult when this comes out. My son is born in 2000. So my wife is really pissed at me for buying Avengers United They Stand toys.
My oldest was born in 99, so that's probably why I didn't see this at all.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think you have your answer as to why the armor exists.
Yes.
It's marketing.
To sell toys.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
It made a really great toy.
I'm sure the writers were writing their little hearts out and they got a knock on the door. Wait. marketing. You're going to have to, add this stuff that we can sell. And maybe that's why this show didn't resonate, because maybe the kids felt that they were being manipulated a little bit. But I have to say, now this Avengers is my introduction to the cartoon Avengers.
Yep.
And it's not my cup of tea. I really liked this series. I really, really liked it. And one of the reasons why was with the complex storytelling. It shocked me, the complex storytelling on this.
Yes.
And for that alone, it deserved a second season for what they were trying to accomplish with the storytelling. And I don't think it was necessarily the cartoon's fault. I think times were changing.
Absolutely. And by this time, kids were getting more sophisticated.
Yeah.
They were recognizing, and people like me, growing up with Saturday morning cartoons and having our own kids, we're recognizing, wait a minute, this is just a ploy to sell toys.
Right.
This is a 30-minute cartoon toy commercial.
Right. Plus, I think the fact that they played, again, fast and loose with the other guys doing cameos, but in all the commercials, it would look like the big three, Iron Man, were in it. So I think that upset fans.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see how that could be the case. They were expecting the A rank and they got the B ranks.
Right. And they got.
But I loved this. I really did.
Such a good job. I was trying to think like Rose and Thorn, and I decided it'll be like Spoon and Sour Milk. The Spoon is the great storytelling, and the Sour Milk for me was 13 episodes, not one female writer. Just not one.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Yeah.
So, again, it was the 90s.
Yeah.
But, pretty close to 2000. So there should have been.
So
I know
think about this.
The original creators were a husband and wife team, but they were off it by the time they were not on the project. They just got a random story editor credit, but they never wrote the episodes.
Well,
and episode doesn't have a writer credit.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
what?
if you think about this, 1999, 2000, there was only two prominent female comic book writers in the industry. Louise Simonson and why can I not remember her name?
And I guess they were busy on other shows.
Well, they were writing comics for Marvel, but we didn't have Gail Simone wasn't around yet. Kelly Thompson wasn't around yet. Women just were not creating the source material, and so that translates over to the animated version. So it's changed a lot. The industry has changed a lot. So
yes,
I mean, I don't know that that's the explanation, but that's a reality of the state of the industry at the time.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of female writers, but I agree. But sometimes
the superhero genre,
they were not allowed to be the writers. Not that they.
There you go. They didn't get the job that day, but we've got them right now, and honestly,
we got them now. Yes.
And honestly, even without female writers, the female characters were still relied on as valuable. They weren't seen as
surprised how
they weren't seen as
well
weaker.
Female characters were.
Well, that is a hallmark of the Avengers comics. If Janet Van Dyne the Wasp, if Tigra, if Scarlet Witch hadn't been actual essential members of this team, fans would have rioted. The Scarlet Witch is the most powerful comic book character at Marvel Comics. She is the most powerful. And they didn't write her at full power for this, but they did write her as a very formidable female character, very strong. And I love the leaning into the Romanian background. Now, Aubrey, you're going to love this.
Yes.
They did do a comic book series based on this team.
Okay.
And it is, I I don't know how many issues it was. It wasn't very many,
Ooh.
but the artwork on this thing I absolutely loved. A lot of people, I shared it with some friends online. A lot of people didn't like it so much. Some of the issues were very animated style, but some of them had this great. I mean, look at how great
There's a complete
Black
shift
Widow
in
looks.
almost every single one of those that you showed. I was like, I like that though.
I just thought of this. Did you guys notice that the Twin Towers are in
I know.
series? Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's one of the reasons why I don't want them to redo it. Just continue. Because I feel like it's important to keep that, because the oh gosh, I forgot his name all of a sudden. Why am I Kang mentions, because he speaks to New York. He goes, in the 21st century, and he's talking to New York. He says the words New York, like they make a big deal about letting you know, not only is this city in danger, but the city is an important city that you all know. Yeah, I was living in Massachusetts when I was a kid, but the minute I heard New York, even though I'd never been there when I was that young, I knew it was an important place. So the specifics, they're making sure to shout that out, and there's time periods involved with it. I believe that they did a good job with King. They made him intimidating. They made him to where it looked like, there was no way they were going to be able to fight that. And then, like you were saying, Pym himself straps his mind to an artifact to jump ahead and try to get ahead of Kang's storyline. Like,
the obelisk.
Yes, the obelisk episode. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. That was great writing. So
Remnants, where they find robots and they want to destroy them, but they don't know if it's morally wrong. I mean, just so good. Morally wrong to destroy them. I think they end up destroying them, but just complex. I mean, I saw Terminator, Wizard of Oz,
Star Trek,
Voyage.
Yeah,
Star
right.
Trek. They not. It was honored, like in writing, you absolutely borrow from the best, but they did a good job. They always put their twist and spin on it, which I so appreciated. And they wrote themselves into corners constantly. They would get out of things a little loose, but I love that the writers challenged themselves like 5 times in every episode.
Oh yeah.
And I love that this dealt with real consequences. Wonder Man dies twice. Yep. Well, maybe.
Yeah, that was wild, that whole scenario.
Right? And Pym's gonna die, and his wife has got to sacrifice her life to try to save him. And they could have no team. They could have those two could be lost if both of them die. They're gone.
I don't know what it is about Vision, but I just love Vision. I love the way he talks. It's
yes. I didn't like the armor, but I liked the acting, and I liked the way they wrote him.
I love the acting. Great one-liners in this series.
Right.
Well, and before Data on Star Trek Next Generation, that was Vision. The Vision all throughout the Avengers comics was trying to find his humanity, trying to understand
such a good
humanity.
Story. It's so beautiful an idea, because we are all doing that. We are all Data. We are all Vision. We are all trying to muddle our way and try to find our humanity and the path we're on. Yeah. So I love that.
And this was true to the source material in that the Vision was created by Ultron specifically to destroy the Avengers. That is true from the comics. And then the Vision, has his own awakening and realizes that his programming does not define him, and that he does not have to do what his master tells him, so to speak, and he breaks free from that mental slavery and becomes an ally, and then a valuable member, long-term member of the Avengers on the Avengers today. So, let's see. Brad Parnell has a comment here. He said, the Avengers were on the 1966 Marvel superhero show, which we covered a few weeks ago, Aubrey, during the Captain America segments. You remember? Vita Linder provided the voice of Scarlet Witch. Quicksilver and Hawkeye were the other characters then. Yes. Cap's Kooky Quartet is what they were known as. And that was the first animated appearance of the Avengers, but it wasn't an Avengers series. So Brad kind of correcting me, but
It's okay.
just I'm still right. We're neither one of us right or wrong. And
I
Clyde Hall-
appreciate the info.
Yeah, Clyde Hall says, I found out about that proposed Dial H cartoon this year too. So much a should have been animated series. Yes, it should have been.
Ooh.
Yeah, so actually we're caught up on comments. Shocking.
Oh.
Shocking. But we're already over time, but
Oh dear. Oh, are we?
we're supposed
I think
to be
we always go over time.
yeah, we're supposed to only be an hour, Sandy, but every week, every episode, we go an hour and a half. And I'm like, because literally, I could talk about this stuff all day.
It's fascinating.
This specific series, I could. Now, down the line, Aubrey, there are 2 other Avengers animated series. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is considered the best, the pinnacle. And then Avengers Assemble, that was made for Disney HD or Disney XD. And we'll get to those eventually as well. But this one was the first full-length feature Avengers series, and I like it a lot. I wish it had lasted longer. 13 episodes was not enough, but maybe it was just enough because I was able to watch all of them again this week.
See, I don't mind when it's a short season. I'm a 12 or 13. I'm okay with, as long as you wrap it up and give us a nice little bow at the end. When you give us a cliffhanger, I'm still like, what happened?
That's the writer's way of trying to get a second season.
Little dangle.
Sometimes it does.
Sandy, how often does that actually work, though?
Well, I have to say, when I worked on American Dreams with Jonathan Prince, he was told to wrap up the series and maybe it would get another season, and he refused to wrap it up. And it didn't get another season, so I don't know.
Oh,
So here's some examples I can think of. Carnival on HBO
Yes.
left us with a cliffhanger.
Right.
Alphas on Sci-Fi Network, that left us with a horrible cliffhanger.
My friend wrote on Carnival, so I'll find out for you what exactly happened there at the end.
The guy, the creator said he.
They did say it.
Well, he said that he has the rest of the story finished, but will never publish it.
No, please. Oh, I want to know so bad.
The Lost World had a cliffhanger. Says Brad Parnell. And more recently, just a few weeks ago, the Star Wars The Acolyte ended with a hanging Chad ending that we'll never, ever see the resolution to on film. I just don't know that works, Sandy.
This? No, please don't do
that. That bothers the fire out of me.
I don't want a cliffhanger. I don't like cliffhangers.
Yeah.
I want that series, whether it's going to go on for another season or 10 more seasons, I want each season to have a nice tied up ending.
Right. Well, I think that every creator would like to give that to the audience. You sometimes just never know,
Yeah.
You do the work and you go on to something else and you wait for that phone call to say that you can go back to that other job. And sometimes it just never comes.
Now, as a writer, I have to ask Sandy, what do you feel about somebody taking up the mantle of your work if you're moved on to other things?
If I'm still getting a check every time that new thing airs, I love it. Go.
Okay.
Go with God. Take it. Run.
Gotcha.
I think when you're younger, sometimes you're just like, that's my character. I have to write every word that comes out of their mouth.
Like your babies, yeah. I get you.
That $25,000 check coming on Tuesday? Please go ahead.
So So before we leave, Sandy, tell us about the Writers Hangout podcast.
Yes.
I would thank you for bringing that up. The Writers Hangout podcast is a podcast that talks about the many stages of writing, from inspiration to getting a project made and everything in between. Sorry, I hit my computer there, and everything in between. It's a place where you can just hang out and have fun and learn from the pros. But we also tell true crime stories about screenwriters. So if maybe you don't want to listen to maybe one of the episodes on famous writers' quotes or something like that, you're definitely going to want to hear about like Gary DeVore, the screenwriter who was found murdered with no hands. So we have stories like that. So it's the Writers Hangout podcast, and you can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. And we have social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that.
That is fantastic.
I had such a great time. And the sun's coming up.
Oh, coffee time, maybe.
Woo! All right. Well, last thoughts about Avengers United They Stand. Aubrey?
I am sad that in 1999 I was not in a place to watch it, but I am interested. I do love the purple outfits. I do love the writing. And I do want to see more of Vision, even if I've got a cliffhanger. I'm willing to watch it till the end. It's worth it.
Oh, hey, we have one last comment from Zentron. David Walsh said, not sure if this is still current, but the Avengers United They Stand DVD sets in the US didn't have all of the episodes uncut.
Ooh.
So you have to get it in the UK if you want all of the episodes uncut. Interesting.
Ooh.
So Sandy, last thoughts, final thoughts about Avengers United They Stand.
Loved it. It taught me, for some reason, my brain wants to add a D into the Avengers. I want to say Advengers. Don't know why, but I now know how to say it. I'm very proud of that. And great writing. I'm with Aubrey on that one.
All right. Yeah. I love this series. It has a fond place in my heart because my son was about to be born when I was watching it. And he those toys that I had, ultimately they became his and were destroyed. So anyway, I'm always on the hunt for them again, though. Just FYI for anyone watching. And Clyde Hall is going to get our last word. He says, excellent show, everyone. Such good examination on the writing. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And with that, if you like our show, make sure you tell 200-300 of your closest friends and family to come share the fun. Comment, like, share, whatever platform you're watching, listening, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you really love us, the banner is scrolling down below, but you can support us at patreon.com/serialboxpodcast. That really helps keep our show running and firing on all cylinders. And if we didn't get to your comment this morning, we just can't get to every comment, but we do appreciate you being part of the show and being in the chat, and really, really do appreciate everyone. We don't deserve your support, but we appreciate it greatly. And before we leave, since we're talking about a comic book IP, we got to acknowledge our charity sponsor, Comic Books for Kids. Check this out.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
All right, friends and foes, that's going to be it for this week. Until the next time, love you, mean it. We'll catch you on the back of the cereal box.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi's